What's going on YouTube? Watsim here again, back with another tuning video for Forza 6. And this one is the request of someone who viewed the previous video and asked me to try and tune a Lamborghini Huracan. Now, I'm going to get it straight out there right away. I am not an S-Class tuner. And this car can only be tuned at a lowest class of S-Class. So, this probably isn't going to be the best tune possible for this car. Not that any of my tunes are, but this particularly won't be quite as good as some of my A-class tunes, or my lower class tunes, shall we say. But I'll try my best. This is only going to be a base tune, I'll put that out there right now. It's not going to be a finished thing. I will continue to work on this. But as it is right now, I'm doing pretty competitive times with it around Silverstone and Catalonia and other tracks. So let's see what I did. I have pre-done everything here. But let's just see what I put in. Now, tyres. What do we do for tyres? Now, this car already has a rating of 5.6 on handling, 5.5 on braking. That is pretty good in terms of what I'm used to. I mean, obviously, for A-Class, we're going to end up slightly higher with the increased speeds we're going to be going at. But looking at the rating of currently 759, putting tyres on is going to buff that rating by quite a lot. Really, I don't think it's necessary to put any on at all. Tyre widths, I went for the widest, so that's 345 on the rear. And on the front, I didn't do anything to them. 245 on the front, I think that's okay. I think I may widen it in a later video for a future much improved tune, because the front end on this is a bit vague through corners, but I might be able to tweak that with a bit of work on the diff. But we'll see how that goes. In terms of wheels, I'm sure I went for the heaviest. Yeah, I did. Went for the heavy wheels, just because it gives me more rating. It's not advised for everyone to do that. It's just what I do. I like to put my points elsewhere, and I've completely backed out of this section for no reason right now. Do apologise. Right, looking at aero, I put both handling packages on. Just again to just buff that handling rating and buff the braking rating, make it as high as possible without losing too much in terms of performance. Diff would have got on straight away. Don't know whether I put the sport driveline on. Didn't touch the gearbox. Didn't touch the clutch either. Right, all this probably goes in. I'm assuming pretty much all this is going. I don't think I would have put the roll cage in. Oh, I did put the roll cage in. Interesting. Okay, so stick to what we did. Took all the weight out. Again, that's just an obvious thing to do. You gain performance, and also you gain handling. It's just, if you can do that on any car in the game, you should be doing it. Okay, so we've got the air filter on as well. Probably got an exhaust on. Yeah, we've got the sport exhaust. And where else? We have the race flywheel. That's probably all I did. We're maxed out now at 800. I don't think I could have sneaked anything else on there. No, nothing else would have gone on. Okay, so that's all the parts I used. Now I'm going to cheat, because I have saved this. I've already pre-saved this. So let's load up what I did. So there's my tune. Put that on. Right, so we've got tyre pressures at 28. That's pretty standard. 28, or I find 28 on sport and street tyres, 27.5 on race tyres. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. I might change that. I haven't really looked into it too closely, I'll be honest. Gearbox doesn't need touching, obviously. Standard gearbox, can't anything to it. Right, I've got the front camera set to minus 2.4. The rear minus 0.9. And then I've got some positive toe, some out toe, sorry. So that's 0.1, and then minus 0.1 on the rear to keep that rear stable. I haven't touched the caster. That's standard. Engine roll bar is sitting at 29.62 on the front, and on the rear 23.86. I don't think I've touched them. Looking at it, I don't think that would have been touched. Right, this is where I would have done some work though. Springs, obviously using the same calculation that we used before. So you take the weight of the car, you times it by 0. Whatever the front weight bias is. So in this case it was 46%, so it would be 2662 times 0.46, divide that by 2, and that will give you this number. And then for the rear, 2662 times 0.54, divide that by 2, and that will give you your rear number. That's just as a base. You don't have to leave it there. That's just so the car is perfectly balanced right now in terms of what the springs are holding. It's as much to as perfectly weighted on those springs as it currently can be. Now, obviously, performance-wise, you may want to twist with that. You probably want to make certain things a little bit softer, maybe. Some cases, maybe a bit harder. I don't know. It just depends what goes to you. Everyone has a different driving style in this game. Everyone plays it differently. Everyone enjoys a different way of how a car handles. This, at the moment, is how I'm leaving it because I say it's just a base tune, really. Ride height, I do my usual thing. I put it all the way to the bottom, then move it at 1. Rebound stiffness, currently both set to 9.2. That surprises me slightly, but I've clearly practiced with it, so that's clearly what's worked. I don't know what it was as standard, but that's that. My bump stiffness always set to 2.0, just to have it. Downforce, I've got everything on the front. Now, as I said earlier, the front end on this car is a bit vague. If you power through corners, the front end tends to go a bit wayward. Now, I think that could be a diff issue, but also it could be just a lack of grip. So as I said, I may put wider front tyres on it. But at the moment, I've compensated by putting the most downforce on the front I possibly can to try and keep that nose down. It's okay, but you can't keep the power on in certain corners, and you need to let off. So it's still quick enough. Like I say, let me look at the performance stats here. I mean, it's 5.5 seconds to 100. It does 202 miles an hour. This car shifts. It is not going to be slow. Brake balance I left at 50-50 just because I didn't really know what to do with it on this one. My pressures are usually between 85 and 90. That's just how I like it. I find I can brake later into a corner with it like that. I find it much easier to race with those kind of pressures. My diffs are currently set at 50. Again, this is what I need to play with. I've left this very kind of bog standard what I would do on a base tune. So in future videos, I may do a follow-up video to this. I guarantee I'll do a follow-up video to this where I would have done more of a specialised job on it than this. This is very, very basic. But yeah, that's pretty much it as is right now. And as I say, I've done reasonably competitive times. I think I did a 2:07 around Silverstone. And I forget the time I did around Catalonia and some other tracks, but it's pretty competitive. In a lot of lobbies, this will do. In basic hoppers, you'll do alright with this car. Against people who've got better cars, you won't do so well, I don't think, because as I say, it's not been so finely tuned. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped you out. I hope the tune kind of works for you. It is available on the download. I still don't know what to call that thing. It is available to download on Forza 6, this tune. So yeah, I hope it works for you. And as I say, I will be improving it in the future. Pretty soon. I'll keep working on it tonight. But yeah, as I say, I hope it's informative. Hope you learned something from it. Hope it helps you out. Do enjoy. If you did, drop a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.